Battle scene, back in the building. You already know what time it is. It's Oplex. We got some things we need to talk about. So let's do that. Math Hoffa versus KeKe. Usually, battle scene, we don't get too much involved in things that are really outside of a battle, but this here is talk worthy enough. It's talk worthy enough. In fact, let me get my coffee. Let me get my coffee. All right, I got my coffee. Let's talk about this. First off, we already know what's going on here. And if you don't know, this is what's going on. KeKe, who has been a familiar face if you've watched battle rap, a lot of times you'll see her on stage in various battles, especially URL. She has been an advocate for battle rap. Again, her face is very familiar if you really keep up with battle rap. She is accusing Math Hoffa of sexually assaulting her about a year ago. And so here we are. And shouts out to Daylight, who dropped some bars about this whole thing yesterday. Go to Daylight's channel to check that out. Unbelievable. And so much can be said here, because when a woman comes out and accuses a man of sexual assault, as Daylight was saying, regardless of whether he's innocent or not, it's still going to damage his career. So we could be dealing with something where, again, this is going to taint his brand, regardless on whether he did it or not. You're going to have women that will, especially if the truth never comes out, you're going to have women that are not going to rock with Math Hoffa. You're going to have women that will take her side. I guarantee you that. And that's fine. I'm not saying that's a right or wrong thing. I think if you look at Math Hoffa's live stream where he first came out and tried to somewhat defend himself, essentially what I heard is that, yes, they hung out. They were at a house that was full of people. And apparently the accusation is that it went on during somewhat of a party. And that what he's saying is that they hung out and she took some of his LOM gear, she took a shower, she took some gear, and everything was cool. They kissed goodbye, they had smoothies. Make sure you check it out so you can verify what I'm saying. But essentially what I got is that, yes, how I interpreted what Math Hoffa was saying on his live stream was that, yes, we did hang out. We did hook up. Everything was fine. And we met up after that and we had smoothies. He even went as far as saying, I called the smoothie shop to see if they had the footage, because the date she's referencing, I think Math Hoffa wanted to prove that, hey, we were at the smoothie shop like a week afterwards and everything was fine. Okay, that is what Hoffa is saying. He's also said that at some point down the line that KeKe went a little mentally off. Or I should say, there was some instability in her mentally, whereas Math Hoffa said that at that point, he recognized that something was off with her. And I think maybe from that point, they discontinued talking. Now, I'm inferring that. I'm not saying he said that. Again, check the live stream out, view it for yourself. You got to do like a lot of skipping, because I don't think it really cranks in to about 40, maybe at minute 41. But he did realize that at some point, KeKe was not mentally sound. And he made that clear. So that's Math Hoffa's side of this whole thing. He's also saying that he is currently in the process of talking to his lawyer, and that there's a process, defamation of character, slander. It's a lot of things that he may be able to do and that he can do if this is just based on nothing but untruths. This is a really sensitive subject because we just don't know. We got one battle rap blogger that's doing great. I think he's staying objective. In fact, shouts out to Piper Boy. I think he's staying very objective. And then we got other battle rap bloggers that's claiming to be judges, just throwing things out there left and right and not really having any solid foundational anchors to really back up what's being said. You know, we had this thing about URL coming out and saying that they totally disconnected from KeKe. That ended up not being true. So be careful who you're listening to. I'm not saying I'm an authoritative figure on the business that's happening between KeKe versus Math Hoffa. I am saying that there should be a paper trail on this. And I'm saying I'm staying very neutral. I will say that right now, I would say this is a 3-0 for Math Hoffa. I agree that there should be a paper trail on this. There should be, and Hoffa has said this on Twitter, where's the paperwork, the hospital night or day where you had a bruised throat? She said that the police system failed her. So what does that mean? I mean, in my mind, if the police system failed you, I mean, she mentioned rape kit, for instance. So does that mean that they did the rape kit and they found nothing? I mean, this is a sexual assault. So when you go in and say, this guy sexually assaulted me, well, they typically are just going to go on what the woman is saying. And also what happens there, a report is created, a document is created. Just the mere allegation, a document is created. Then what? An investigation needs to happen. Right? And what she's saying is that nothing worked in that whole process of going to the police, the rape kit. So that in itself is questionable. It's just, I'm not saying that that's not true. It's just questionable. Because my thing is, so two things are going to happen with that rape kit. Either you find some DNA or you don't. That's how that works. Also, there should be some asphyxiation bruises on her neck. If she was choked to the point of unconsciousness, or she was choked forcefully, Math Hoffa is a pretty big guy. There should have been some scars. There should have been some bruises. And that in itself is a charge, by the way, whether the sexual assault happened or not. That in itself, choking a woman, that's an assault. So I think KeKe is in a position now to where she has made allegations to Math Hoffa. And what does the battle rap community want? More evidence. See, with the Big K versus Adi Boom battle, can you imagine Big K saying all of those things without having that paperwork? Would it have held as much weight? this is not to say that KeKe, this is not to say it didn't happen. I'm giving you perspectives to look at this. There's some questionable things about these allegations. There should be some paperwork that you went to the hospital. Worst case, there should be some documentation of your neck being bruised. There should be some paperwork of the rape kit, positive or negative. There should be some paperwork there. So what does, again, I want to ask, what does it mean when you allege that you went to the cops, said you were sexually assaulted? What specifically are you referring to, KeKe, when you say that the system failed you? How? That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying the system can't fail you. Obviously, we know the system can fail. But how did the system fail you? And again, what the battle rap community wants to see is, show me the paperwork. Like, show me at least that you went in for a rape kit. I mean, maybe miraculously there's no DNA, you know? I don't know. But I want to chime in and just let the battle rap community know that, you know, this is damaging. I mean, if it is true, it's incredibly damaging to KeKe. If it isn't true, it's incredibly damaging to Hoffa. And that's just where we're at. And now that it's out here, curiosity is killing the cat. Everybody wants to know, okay, is this true? And battle rap fans, the battle rap community may have to realize that we may never know the truth. We may never find out what the truth really is here. I mean, we need facts. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, if KeKe can provide a paper trail, some kind of evidence that would weigh the scales heavier to, like we say, the preponderance of evidence showing that Math Hoffa did indeed do this. It'll be interesting to see if we get that. You know, me personally, I'm hoping it's not true. You know what I mean? And if it's not true, man, it sucks for Hoffa. You know, Hoffa clearly stating that she is mentally off. That's just what he's saying. What does that mean? Well, I mean, if you're mentally unstable, it could yield erratic situations like this. It could. And I don't know, KeKe, this whole situation is sensitive. I'm just saying this is what has been put out here between Math Hoffa and KeKe. And I'm just kind of looking at the files. You know, if she's mentally unstable, she may not even realize that could have been a manic swing when she got on IG. Hoffa continuing to say, I got to keep praying for her. It's sensitive. It's sensitive. So again, I really hope that this is not true. And if it's not true, it's back to what Hoffa is saying. She needs to get help. And if it is true, then, you know, whether the legal system can catch up with Hoffa or not, karma's going to come back around. Eventually, Hoffa will have to pay. If it is true, Hoffa, you will have to pay one way or the other. Legal system doesn't catch you, it'll come back around. You know why? Because you reap what you sow. You know? But that's where I'm at with it. You know what I mean? Let me know how y'all feeling about it. again, man, it's a really sensitive topic, and it's nothing to be, joking around with and playing around with. Again, I really hope that it's not true. And it sucks for Hoffa. And yeah, that's where we're at. But I felt like, we needed to come out. It's been a busy week outside of blogging. So, we haven't put a post up in a while, but I felt like this was worthy enough to talk about. And shouts out to Hoffa and KeKe, prayers going up. And we'll see how this ends, but I think this is probably gonna brew for a minute while everyone sits and waits to see if KeKe can provide some more context or evidence to support that what she's saying is true. And I think that window is open now, and I don't think it's going to be open for long. And if it is true, then again, there should be some paper trails. It should be documents. I can speak directly to KeKe, if you have access to these documents and you need to present them, because it looks like the battle rap community overall is saying, show us more, show us the files, show us the files, And the worst thing that can happen is that this is true, and then the battle rap community ends up flipping on you because they just don't believe you. So if you have more evidence, then you should bring it to the table. The can of worms is open, so why not? This is the time to do it. On the flip side, Hoffa, continue to do what you're doing. Go easy on social media. I think you've said enough. I don't think you need to really, let me say this, Hoffa is not acting like, the way he is behaving right now isn't the behavior of one that is guilty. That's not what I'm seeing from Hoffa. Even Hoffa asking her, show the paperwork. Show us what you're talking about. It doesn't sound like that's coming from someone who is guilty. If Hoffa was just like, I'll talk to my lawyers, I'd be kind of like, you can't judge it off of how one reacts to the allegation, but I'm just saying, if Hoffa was basically, it's not true and I got to talk to my lawyers, that would swing me closer to maybe it is true. But the way Hoffa has reacted in the last 24 hours, it is not the typical response from a guilty man. Think back to Joe Biden being accused of grabbing up on the woman in the White House hallways. He's coming out saying, in the hallway? Aren't there cameras in the hallway? Think about it, guys. And again, Biden, if she has, where are the complaints? She made a complaint. Where are the complaints? Show me the paperwork. Mind you, that has gotten very quiet. Haven't heard anything about that. That just got very, very quiet. The allegation that Biden was pressing up on a girl in the hallway. And I'm just saying, Biden and Hoffa are behaving in the same way. And by the way, I don't think Biden did it. And overall, I don't think Hoffa did it. I'm just basing it off of what I'm seeing right now. But I don't know, and neither do you. And that's important to remember, that it's just an opinion of what you think may have happened after these allegations have been distributed to the World Wide Web. You already know what time it is, man. It's your boy Oplex. That's all I got, man. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Let me know how y'all feeling about this. Hopefully we'll get to the bottom of this. And if we can't, then we need to just unplug and let it go. Battle scene, we out.